Okay. When you're doing this question, you'll notice that 8 and 27 are cube numbers, and C cubed and D cubed are also cube values. So this is a difference of cubes because you're subtracting. Okay, so let's find A. A will be the cube root of 8C cubed, and B will be the cube root of 27D cubed. This should give you 2C, and this should give you 3D. Okay, and we have said this is difference of cubes, or difference of two cubes. So Kanun for difference of two cubes says A minus B should equals to A squared plus AB plus B squared. So what is our A? Our A is 2C minus 3D, which is our B. And then here we're going to do 2C squared plus 2C times 3D plus 3D squared. Now we need to expand this. So this becomes 2C minus 3D, and then 4C squared plus 6CD plus 9D squared. And this should be your answer. Okay. So here I'm going to do GCF. So I'm going to do GCF. So 64x to the fourth power and xy cubed becomes, there's no other number, so I'm not breaking down 64. So this will be darb x, darb x, darb x. I mean, there is a number 1, so I'm not breaking down 64. And then this one is x, darb y, darb y, darb y. My GCF is x. So I'm going to put x outside. Okay. Now I'm going to have 64x cubed plus y cubed. Now this is a sum of cubes, or sum of two cubes. So I need to find A, which is the cube root of 64x cubed, and I need to find B, which is the cube root of y cubed. So this becomes x, and then we follow the Kanun for sum of cubes, which is A plus B, and then this will be A squared minus AB plus B squared. Okay. All right. So then x, because that's the GCF part, then A is, this becomes 4x, and this becomes y. Okay. So 4x plus y, 4x squared minus 4x multiply y, and then here 1 squared. Now you need to solve this. So you're going to get x, 4x plus y, 16x squared minus 4xy plus y squared. And you box your answer. Yeah. find GCF. So GCF will be A8, A squared, B6, A8 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure you put the darb sign in between. You're gonna get A, B, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, so your GCF will be A squared. GCF will be A squared. Okay, so you're gonna get A squared A6 minus B6. Okay, this is square. You can rewrite this as a difference of squares. Okay, how are you gonna rewrite that? You're gonna say this is the A squared A cubed minus B cubed to the second power. Okay. Now, how do we write difference of squares? Kanun for difference of squares, you need to have plus and you need to have minus. Okay. So this will be A cubed plus B cubed. Don't forget your A squared that you brought from your GCF. And here A cubed minus B cubed. Okay. All right. Now, you cannot stop here. This is a sum of cubes. This is a sum of cubes. And this is a difference of cubes. Okay, so that continues. You're gonna have A squared. Now you're gonna do here sum of cubes. Sum of cubes. Kanun says what? A plus B. A squared minus AB plus B squared. And then you're gonna do here difference of cubes. And Kanun says that is A minus B, A squared minus plus AB plus B squared. Okay, then you're going to write your answer. You can box it here, or you can put these three at the beginning. So you're going to do A squared, A plus B, A minus B, A squared minus AB plus B squared. And then you're going to have A squared plus AB plus B squared. And you box your answer, just like that. Okay. If you do GCF for this, you're going to find y cubed is the GCF. You're going to get x6 plus y6. You're going to repeat the same. So this is going to be y cubed. Okay. Now, here you're going to do sum of cubes. So you can say x squared plus y squared. So this becomes sum of cubes. Sum of cubes. Okay. All right. Now you're gonna have y cubed. So make sure you do step 1 GCF. x6, because there's no x, I'm not breaking down x, so I'm going to leave it like that. So this is y, y, y. And then I'm going to do y to the 9th power. So y, 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 y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I want to do 3. GCF is y, that y, that y, which is y cubed. Okay, let's continue. This is sum of cubes. How do you write sum of cubes? A plus b, a squared minus ab plus b squared. Okay, so this becomes y cubed, that becomes x here, that becomes x squared plus y squared, that becomes x squared, what is it? X squared, but it's squared because that's your A and that's your B. Then here you're going to have minus x squared, y squared plus y squared. Square it. Okay? All right, so let's solve. This is y cubed, x squared plus y squared. This is x to the 4th power minus x squared y squared plus y to the 4th power. Like that. And then you box your answer. Okay. This is going to be prime. How do I know? Because 18 and 5 don't have a common factor. Okay. So you cannot factor this out. I know it has 6. Even if you do square root, 18 is not a perfect square, 5 is not a perfect square. Even if you do cube root, 18 is not a cube number, 5 is not a cube number. So this is prime. Prime polynomial. The reason is 18 and 5 don't have a greatest common factor apart from 1. Okay. And 18x6 is not a perfect square. 5y to the 6th power is not a perfect square or perfect cube. Okay, so those are my reasons. So I checked for square root and I checked for cube root and I also checked for GCF. Okay. This also will be prime. Okay, no GCF other than 1. Okay. Square root of 1w cubed is not a perfect square. Perfect square. Square root of 2y cubed not a perfect square. Okay. 2 is not a perfect square. 1 is a perfect square, but W is not a perfect square. Okay. Then we check for cube root. That goes to 1W. And then here, cube root of 2y cubed stays the same because it cannot be simplified. Okay, 2 is not a perfect cube. So I did not say sa 4 times. I only said sa 1 time. So prime. Polynomial is not factorable. Okay? I put my x's together and my y's together. So I have gx squared minus 3. I'll start with f. It doesn't matter. But it's good to start with the alphabet. Yes, A, B, C, D, E, F. So 6fx squared plus gx squared minus 3hx squared. And then I do the same for the y's. I get that gy squared and 3hy squared. Okay. Check my work. Okay. Okay. Negative. Okay. Negative. Okay. Positive. So, okay. What's the GCF here? The GCF here is x squared. The GCF here is y squared. Okay. So I'm going to put x squared outside. I'm going to put 6f plus g minus 3h, like that. Okay. And I put here positive y squared. And then I am going to put here negative 6f minus g plus 3h. What do I notice? This is not the same as that. And because it's not the same, I have to multiply the whole of this part with a negative 1. So I'll have here x squared 6f plus g minus 3h minus y squared 6f plus g minus 3h. Now they are the same. So now I can write x squared minus y squared, and this becomes difference of squares. And then I'm going to multiply with 6f plus g minus 3h. Okay, difference of squares means open 2 brackets, one with plus and the other one with minus. So put x, y, and then bring the third bracket, 6f plus g minus 3h. And there is your answer. Okay, you repeat the same. Separate your x's and your y's. So you have 12ax squared minus 18bx squared plus 24cx squared. So I used this, I used that, and I used this. Okay. So here negative 10ay squared plus 15by squared minus 20cy squared. Greatest common factor is x squared. Greatest common factor is y squared. X squared equals to 12a minus 18b plus 24. Okay. Actually, greatest common factor is more than x squared. We'll do for this one again. Okay. And then here we have plus y squared. You have negative 10a plus 15b minus 20c. So here, 6 is another greatest common factor. 6 can go into these three numbers. So if you do greatest common factor, so this should be 6 here. Okay, so you're going to put 6. You have another greatest common factor, which is 6. And then here, your greatest common factor is 5. Okay, so you're going to put 6x squared. You're going to get 2a minus 3b plus 4c. And then here you're going to put plus 5y squared. I'm going to put here negative 2a plus 3b minus 4c. You notice that this bracket is not the same as this bracket. So you're going to dub everyone by negative 1. So you're going to get 6x squared, 2a minus 3b plus 4c minus 5y squared, 2a minus 3b plus 4c, just like that. Now your brackets are the same. So you have 6x squared minus 5y squared. And then what you have here, 2a minus 3b plus 4c. Now this looks like a difference of squares, but it is not, because 5 and 6 are not perfect squares. So stop here. This is your answer. Okay. Now, even this is also not factorable. So that's it. This is your answer. Okay. Put your A's together and your B's together. Greatest common factor is A cubed. Greatest common factor is A cubed. Greatest common factor is B cubed. Okay, so A cubed, x squared minus 16x plus 64. This looks like A plus B, A minus B squared. And then you have minus, no, you have B plus B cubed x squared plus 16x minus 64. Okay. So these two brackets are not the same. Make them the same by that being by -1, you have negative b cubed. Oh, I forgot this. See, this was negative. So if I took b, this negative was with x squared. So yes. So now negative times this makes it x squared, then minus 16x, then plus 64. Okay? And then I bring this down, a cubed x squared minus 16x plus 64. So a cubed minus b cubed. This becomes a difference of cubes. Difference of cubes. And this becomes x squared minus 16x plus 64. Okay. Now, this is a minus b squared, or a minus b, a minus b. How do I know? This is a perfect square and this is a perfect square. So my a is 1 and my b is 8. Square root of, so let's do that here on the side. A equals to the square root of 1, which is 1, and b equals to the square root of 64, which is 8. So I'm going to write here x minus 8, x minus 8, x minus 8, just like that. Now this is the difference of cubes. So this one I can write it as x minus 8 squared, like that. Okay, now this is a difference of cubes. We write the kanun a minus b, and this will be a squared minus plus ab plus b squared. So like that, okay? So then write your answer, a minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. And this in one bracket like that. And then you box your answer. Okay. When you get why do I have this here? When you get here, you have to remember to factor it out. You have so many ways of factoring out. You can use kanun like I used. So you can use the formula. You can use table. You can use your calculator. Okay? You can use quadratic formula. The one that says negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. You have a choice. You have a choice of how to factor it. Okay? So me, I use the rule. Actually, I should not write formula here. This should be rule. Perfect square rule. I don't know what's the rule name. That rule. Yes, when you square. Okay? Put your x's together. 8x5 plus 80x4 plus 200x cubed. And put your y's together. Negative 25y cubed minus x squared y cubed minus 10xy cubed. Okay. Here, greatest common factor is 8x cubed. So 8x cubed is going to give you x squared plus 10x plus 25. Here, the greatest common factor is negative y cubed. Okay, so negative y cubed is going to give you x squared plus 10x plus 25. Okay, so I should write this in standard form. So this should be x squared y, and it should be minus, and then it should be negative 10x y cubed, and then it should be negative 25 y cubed, like that. Okay, so who is common? The negative y cubed is common, so if I take that out, this is what I'm left with. So then I have 8x cubed minus y cubed, and then I have x squared plus 10x plus 25. Factor this out using rule, using calculator, using table, using what else? Quadratic formula. And this should be sum of cubes. I mean, difference of cubes. Because 8 is a cube number, x is a cube value, 1 is a cube number, and y is a cube value. So difference of cubes says a minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. So I need to find my a. I'm gonna write it over here. A equals to the cube root of 8x cubed, which will be 2x. B equals to the cube root of y cubed, which is y. So I'm going to write here 2x minus y equals to 2x squared plus 2x times y plus y squared. Okay. Then when I factor this out, I should get x plus 5, x plus 5, which becomes x plus 5 squared. Okay, now write your answer. Your answer will be 2x minus y, 4x squared, sorry, 4x squared plus 2xy plus y squared, x plus 5 squared. Okay. Oh, and table. We can also use table over here. Okay. I'm going to solve by using GCF. A cubed minus 9a squared, 14a. A ضرب A ضرب A. -1 ضرب 3 ضرب 3 ضرب A ضرب A. 2 ضرب 7 ضرب A. So GCF is A. Okay. A squared minus 9A plus 14 equals to 0. I need 3 roots because my degree is 3. So I'm going to write my answer over here. I need 3 roots because my degree is 3. So root 1, A equals to 0 because of this. A equals to 0. Now I need to solve, so I can, when I divide this into 2, A equals to 0, and then here A squared minus 9A plus 14 equals to 0. You're going to do table, you're going to do quadratic formula, you're going to do calculator, whichever you want. You should do 2 of these to confirm your answer. Okay? When you do, you should get, on your calculator, you should get A equals to you should get A equals to 2 and B equals to 7. Okay, so then you subtract 2 on both sides. You subtract 7 on both sides. A minus 2. What does the question want you to solve? Okay. Okay, so if you get that in your calculator, you just stop there. You got this in your calculator. So why do you have B? Should have another A here. Whichever way you want it. Okay. So this will be A equals to 2 and A equals to 7. And they are your 3 roots. So I checked mine with my jadwal because I did both jadwal and quadratic formula. So this is my B. This is my AC. My B is -9. My AC is 14. What 2 numbers can I multiply? Will be -1, -14, and then -2 and -7. And this is the one that gave me -9 because -2 plus -7 gave me -9. So then I said x equals to -2. So I added 2 on both sides. So I found my factors. Okay. Sorry. So it's x minus 2, because these are your factors. So this goes in the bracket, x minus 7. And because they're equal to 0, so you'd solve x minus 2 equals to 0, x minus 7 equals to 0. So you plus 2, you plus 2, you plus 7, you plus 7. Okay? All right. This goes away. X equals to 2 and x equals to 7. So you will do that in the calculator. You will do that in the jadwal. You should get the same answer and you confirm that those are your roots. Okay, so then you can write them as A equals to 0, 2, and 7. Okay. When you're solving, you want to make sure your equation equals to 0. X cubed minus 3x squared equals to 0. When you do GCF, x cubed becomes x dot x dot x. Negative 3x squared becomes negative 1.3 dot x dot x. Your greatest common factor is x squared. Okay, so you're going to have x. Your greatest common factor is x squared. Okay. All right. What does that give you? X squared, x minus 3 equals to 0. So I'm going to divide this into 2. X squared equals to 0. You square root both sides. X is 0. But it's a square root, so you need two numbers. Okay? So you need two values. There's no plus or minus 0. Okay? And you know you need 3 roots. There you go. Then you're going to do here x minus 3 equals to 0. So you plus 3, x equals to 3. So you write, I need 3 roots. So you're going to have a double root at 0. So that will be x equals to 0, x equals to 0, x equals to 3. Or they can write it like that. Okay? Greatest common factor is t squared. So you're going to have t squared minus 3t minus 4t equals to 0. You're going to divide this into 2. T squared equals to 0. Square root both sides. You're going to repeat your answer 2 times because a square root should have 2 answers. And you cannot put plus or minus because 0 can only be 0. Okay? Now on this side, you're going to do 2t squared minus 3t minus 4t. You can do this table, quadratic formula, or calculator. So me, I did quadratic formula. So I said t equals negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a, which is equals to negative 3 plus or minus negative 3 squared minus 1 negative 40 over 2 bracket 1. That gives you 3 plus or minus 9 plus 160 over 2. That gives me 2 answers. 3, wait, before I get there, so this is, before I get there, we'll get 3 plus or minus 169 over 2, 3 plus or minus 13 over 2. So then my 2 answers will be 3 plus 13 divided by 2, 3 minus 13 divided by 2. Okay? And this gives me 8. and this gives me -5. So now let's write our roots. We need how many roots? We need 4 roots. So x, or is it t? T is equals to -5. T is also equals to 0. T is equal to another 0, and t is equals to 8. So there are your 4 roots. Okay? There are your 4 roots. I took from here, and then from here and here. Okay? So we know I need 3 zeros, so 3 roots, because by degree is 3. So I'll do greatest common factor, which is b, and then I'll do b squared minus 8b plus 16 equals to 0. I'm going to divide by work. B is already equals to 0, so I start there. B equals to 0. And then I do here b squared minus 8b plus 16. You can do this in the table. You can do this quadratic formula. You can do this calculator. Okay? And you should get for here, you should get x minus 4, x minus 4 equals to 0. Me, I did jadwal. This is my B, and this is my AC. My B is -8, my AC is 16. So I did -1, that -16, -2, that -8, -4, that -4, and when I add them, it gives me -8. So here was my answer. So I wrote them like this. So when I solve, x minus 4 equals to 0, and x minus 4 equals to 0. Plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, x equals to 4, x equals to 4. So right here, since the half is b, I will put here there is my 3 roots. This looks like a difference of squares. 1 is a perfect square, 625 is a perfect square. So I need to find a square root of x to the 4th power minus square root of 625. So that becomes x squared minus 25 squared, like that. So this becomes x squared minus 25 squared. And like I said, this is a difference of squares. What did we say? I'm gonna put this like this. You're gonna put plus, I'm gonna put minus. Okay? So that will be x squared plus 25, and then x squared minus 25. I'm going to break this down also. These are still square numbers. So that's still a difference of squares. So this will be x plus 5 and x minus 5. Because you're going to do the square root of x squared will give you x. And the square root of 25 will give you 5. And this is the difference of squares. Okay, and then this one cannot be simplified, so you're going to leave it alone, just like that. Okay, now write your answer. You can box it here, or you can rearrange it. You can say x minus 5, x plus 5, x squared plus 25. You're going to box your answer, just like that. Okay. These are also perfect squares. So I do a square root of x6 minus square root of 64. That gives you x to the third power minus 8. Okay. So you're going to write this squared. Okay. Okay. I checked my work. I want to check x cubed minus 8 squared means x cubed minus 8, x cubed minus 8. That will give me x to the 6th power minus 8. Sorry, this should be plus because it's a difference of squares. Okay, plus 8x cubed minus 8x cubed. This gives me 0. And then this gives me negative 64. So I know I am correct. So this is a difference of squares. Okay. All right. And because it's a difference of squares, what does that mean? You need 2 brackets. One with plus and one with minus. Okay. So you're going to put here x cubed minus 8, x cubed plus 8. Now, what do you notice? These are also, this is a difference of cubes. And this is a sum of cubes. Because this is 1 and 8. 1 and 8 are perfect cubes, and x cubed is also a perfect value. Same thing. So now, here, you're going to do a minus b, a squared minus, no, plus ab plus b squared. And then here, you're going to do a plus b, a squared minus ab plus b squared. This will be x minus 2, because you're going to do a. So let's find a. A will be the cube root of x cubed, which is x, and b will be the cube root of 8, which is 2. So then you're going to have x squared plus 2x plus 4. Okay? And then here, what did I skip? Let me put 2 squared. Okay, so I don't skip a step. X plus 2 will give me x squared minus 2x plus, this is 2 for A and B. This is, okay. Okay. All right, now let's write our answer. I don't think I have space. X minus 2, x squared plus 2x plus 4, x plus 2 x squared minus 2x plus 4. And this is your answer. Okay. Greatest common factor is the x, GCF, x to the 4th power minus 16. Okay. This is a difference of squares because 1 and 16 are perfect squares. And x to the 4th power is a perfect square value. So what are we doing? We're just factoring. Okay, so this becomes difference of squares. Okay, so I'm going to do square root of x4 minus square root of 16. Okay. X, but then this is squared. So this will be x squared minus 4 squared. Okay. Like that. So what does this mean? This means x squared minus 4 and x squared plus 4. Remember, difference of squares, you need two brackets, one with plus and one with minus. Then you're going to break this down. This becomes, this is also still perfect squares. So difference of squares, you need two brackets, x minus 2, x plus 2. Okay? This you cannot simplify, so you just bring it down. And you box your answer. Hmm. Find GCF, which should give you x squared, y squared. So 8x 5y squared minus 27x squared y 5. So it is 2, 2, 2, x, 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 y, y. Negative 1, 3, 3, 3, x, x, y, 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 y. I have two y's, two y's. I have two x's and two x's. So GCF equals to x darb x darb y, x squared, y squared. Okay? All right. X squared, y squared. This remains 8x cubed. And here you remain with 27y cubed. Okay? And this is difference of cubes. How do I know? 8 is a perfect cube, 27 is a perfect cube, x cubed is a cube value, is a perfect cube value, and y cubed is a perfect cube value. Okay. X squared, y squared remains. Difference of cubed is written how? A minus b, a squared, ab, no, plus. Because this is minus, this has to be plus, and then here plus b squared. Now let's find our a. So we need to cube root of 8x cubed, which gives us 2x, and the cube root of b, which is cube root of 27, y cubed, which is 3y. So x squared y squared 2x minus 3y 2x squared plus 2x multiply 3y plus 3y squared. So you have x squared y squared 2x minus 3y 4x squared 6xy 9y squared. I am done. Combine like terms. X6 minus 12x to the fourth power plus, what is this? It's 48. So you look at this and this. They are perfect squares. They are also perfect cubes. So find the cube root of x to the sixth power. Find the cube root of 64. This will give you x squared, and this will give you 4. Okay? So difference of cubes. X squared minus 4 cube. Okay? Now, difference of cubes says what? A minus b, a squared. These are all perfect cubes. They're also perfect squares. So I can write this. Since this is a difference of squares, I'll open two brackets. X squared plus 4 and x squared minus 4. But then you need to cube them like that. Okay? So simplify this. Not simplify, as in literally find the factors of that. So, okay, let me explain again. Sure. This right here, just this part is a difference of squares. But then that difference of squares, you need to cube it because it has the power 3. So how do you find the difference of squares of this? You need to find the square root of this, and you need to find the square root of that. So that will give you, and because they're difference of squares, you need two brackets. So x plus 2, x minus 2. That is just the inside. Then you need to cube it. So then your answer will be x plus 2 to the third power, x minus 2 to the third power. and this is your answer. Okay? So remember, this part is a difference of cubes. Difference of squares. Sorry, why am I calling it cubes? Difference of squares. Okay? So to find A, you need to do the square root of x squared, which is x. To find B, you need to do the square root of 4, which is ithnina, like that. And then you put them in your two brackets, but you also have to remember there is a cube over here. Combine your like terms. Okay. Then I looked at this and this. Said cube root of y9 minus cube root of 1. We're going to have y cubed minus 1. So because you did cube root, so you need to put that there. So here you're going to put difference of cubes, or two cube numbers. I think that's how the Kanun is written. So you're going to find the cube root. So you're going to find A. A equals the cube root of y cubed, and B equals the cube root of 1 cubed. That gives you y, that gives you 1. So then you're going to write A minus B, A squared plus AB plus B squared. A minus B is y minus 1. They have y squared plus y1 plus 1 squared. You have y minus 1, y squared plus y plus 1. You have to remember to cube it. To cube it because of this cube here. Okay, don't forget that. You have to cube it. Okay. So what does that lead to? Y minus 1 cubed and y squared plus y plus 1 cubed. And this is your answer. Remember, the difference of cubes is this inside here, this part only. These 3, you still have to remember to use it at the end, okay? Don't forget about that. Okay, so I'm gonna make this my u. So this will be my u squared minus 90 equals to 0. Quadratic formula. Or jadwal. Put this in the jadwal or quadratic formula or table or calculator. So this part you can do on the table. You can do quadratic formula. And you can do calculate. So me, I did quadratic formula. So I wrote, actually I should write u, not x. U equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So negative 1 plus or minus 1 squared minus 4 darb 1 darb negative 90 over 2 darb 1. That gives me negative 1 plus or minus 1 plus 360 over 2. That gave me negative 1 plus or minus 361 over 2. Negative 1 plus or minus, I think this is 19 over 2. And that gives me two answers. Negative 1 minus 19 over 2. Negative 1 plus 19 over 2. That gives me negative 20 over 2 and 18 over 2. That gives me negative 10 and that gives me 9. After I do that, I need to find my x because these are my u's. U and U. So I'm going to write here. If u is equals to negative 10 and u is also x squared, because you said that here. So x squared equals to negative 10. To find x, you're going to square root both sides. And remember, you need 4 roots. So that's also another thing you need to remember. So this is x equals to plus or minus the square root of negative 10, which means x equals to plus or minus I square root of 10. Okay? Then you need to use your other u. U equals to 9, which means x squared equals to 9. You want to find x, you do the square root. X equals to plus or minus 3. So there are your 4 roots, 2 here and 2 here. So you write your answer. I need 4 roots because my degree is 4. And my 4 roots will be x equals to negative 3, x equals to 3, negative 10i, and 10i. There are your 4 roots. Repeat the same. This is u squared minus 16u minus 720. Put it in the calculator or jadwal or do quadratic formula. You will get 2 values of u. U equals to negative 20 and u equals to 36. And then you will say x squared equals to negative 20 and x squared equals to 36. Then you'll find the square root of both sides. You're going to get x equals to plus or minus 2. I think 2 and then I. Put I here. Square root of 5. This looks weird. Okay. I think it's 2 root 5. And then put I there, like that. That looks better. And then here you're going to do square root and square root. X equals to plus or minus 6. And you need 4 roots. And here are your 4 roots. Okay? All right, same thing you're going to do here. This becomes u squared minus 7u minus 44 equals 0. You put this in your calculator or you do jadwal or you do quadratic formula. You should get 2 u's you get u equals to -4, and you should get u equals to 11. Then you put here x squared equals to -4 and x squared equals to 11. Square root both sides of your equation. This gives you x plus or minus the square root of 11. And then here x equals plus or minus 2i. Okay? And there are your 4 roots. Remember, your degree is 4, you need 4 roots. Same process. This is u squared plus 6u minus 91. Put it in the calculator, put it in the jadwal. You should get 2 u's. Your first u is -13. Your second u should be 7. You write x squared. You write x squared equals to 7 equals to -13. Square root on both sides. X equals to plus or minus 13i, but with the square root. Okay? And then same thing here. X equals to plus or minus square root of 7. And here are your 4 roots. Okay? Or you can write them as negative I square root 13, I square root 13, 7, -7, and then 7. You can also write them like that. It's up to you. Okay, this is a perfect cube. Okay. If you want to put this in the calculator, you should get 3 roots. Put that in the calculator and solve, but correct way is for you to do, this is a sum of perfect cubes. So AB, A squared minus 2AB, why 2? Mafi 2, just AB. And then here, B squared. So you want to find A is the cube root. I don't want to waste space. Let me do it here. A is the cube root of x cubed, which is x. And B is the cube root of 216, which gives you 6. So here you're going to do x plus 6. Here you do x squared. You're going to do x times 6. And then here you're going to do 6 squared. So this gives you x plus 6. This gives you x squared minus 6x plus 36. Okay, you need to break this down. You can put it in the calculator, you can do jadwal, you can do quadratic formula. It's up to you what you want to do. But then remember, all this equals to 0. So solve this first. So you're going to solve this part first. X plus 6 equals to 0. Minus 6 minus 6. This is x equals to -6. This is your first root. So you need 2 more roots to come from here. Okay? When you solve, you should get 3 minus 3i root 3. And you should get 3 plus 3i root 3. And there are your 3 roots. So write your answer. I need 3 roots because my degree is 3. So my first root will be -6. 3 minus 3i root 3, and then 3 plus 3i root 3. And this is my answer. These are also perfect cubes, and you will need 3 roots. So this is the sum of a perfect cube. A sum of cube numbers, of 2 cube numbers, sum of 2 cube numbers. So this will be a plus b, a squared plus 2 plus ab, minus ab. Did I do this correctly? Yes. Okay. Minus ab plus b squared equals to 0. Okay. Let's find a. A equals to the square root of 60 of the cube root of 64x cubed, which will be 4x. Okay. And then b is the cube root of 1, which is 1. So I'm going to write here 4x plus 1, 4x squared minus 4x times 1 plus 1 squared. Okay, so you're going to have 4x plus 1 equals to 0. Minus 1 minus 1, 4x equals to negative 1. Divide by 4, divide by 4, x equals to negative a quarter. Then this one becomes 16x squared minus 4x plus 1. Okay? And if you do this in jadwal or quadratic formula, or calculator, you should get 2 roots. And your 2 roots will be 1 plus or minus I root 3 over 8. So let's write our answer. X equals negative 1 over 4, 1 minus I root 3 over 8, 1 plus I root 3 over 8. Use u, so this is 8u squared plus 10u minus 3 equals to 0. Calculator, jadwal, it's up to you. Quadratic formula, you should get 2 u's. U equals to negative 3 over 2, and u equals to a quarter. X squared equals to negative 3 over 2. X squared equals to 1 over 4. Square root both sides of your equation. For both u's, you should get here x equals plus or minus I root 3 over 2, like that. And then here you should get x equals plus or minus half. Okay? Now, you cannot have square root at the bottom. Remember that. Square root cannot be at the bottom, so you need to rationalize your denominator. So rationalize your denominator. What does that mean? You're going to do 3 over 2 like that, and you're going to multiply by the square root of 2. That's what rationalizing the denominator means. Remember, Kanun says we cannot have square root at the bottom. So this will be square root of 6 over ithnina. And remember, you have the I just didn't bring it, I didn't use it here. So now let's write our answer. We need how many roots? We need 4 roots. 4 roots. So your first root will be x equals to negative I square root of 6 over 2. And then positive I square root of 6 over 2. And then negative half, and then half. And there are your 4 roots. Okay. Okay, so this will be 6u squared minus 5u minus 4. You can do jadwal calculator to solve. When you solve, you should get 2 u's. Your first u should be 4 over 3. Your second u should be negative half. So then you say x squared equals to the square root of 4 over 3. This will give you even if you forget to put this to rationalize this, you can just put it in the calculator. The calculator will do it for you. So here you should get plus or minus, but you should know how to rationalize your denominator. Stop relying on that calculator. Okay, and then this one, since this is negative, so you should have I. So this will be, first of all, just leave it as negative half. Find the square root. So this will be x plus or minus I, and then square root of 1 over 2. Now, you also need to fix this. If you put this in the calculator, or you should know how to rationalize without using the calculator. Plus or minus I, that will give you square root of 2 on top over ithnina, like that. And there are your 4 roots. Here are your 4 roots. 2 here and 2 here. And how do you know you need 4 roots? Because you have a degree, the highest degree is 4. Okay, do the same here. 20u squared minus 53u plus 18 equals to 0. You will get 2 u's. You get u equals to 9 over 4 and u equals to 2 over 5. X squared equals to 9 over 4, square root both sides, x equals to 3 over 2. And because you square root, plus or minus. Let me write it nicely. Plus or minus 3 over 2. So here you're going to have x squared equals to 2 over 5, square root both sides. You're going to have x equals, make sure you rationalize your denominator. So this will give you plus or minus square root of 10 over 5. So you should have 4 roots, and there are your 4 roots. Repeat the process. For this question 2, you will have 18u squared plus 43u minus 5. You should get 2 u's. Your first u should be negative 5 over 2. and your second u should be 1/9. So then you're going to say x squared equals to -5/2 square root x equals to plus or minus I. Remember to rationalize your denominator over 2. And then here, x squared equals to 1/9. 1/9 are perfect squares. So this will be plus or minus 1/3. And there are your 4 roots. Okay? Repeat the same for this one. Do your u's. You should get u is 2 and u is 1/4. Here you should get your u is 9 and your u is -5/3. Combine like terms and do the use. So you have 4x to the 4th power minus 5x squared plus 1 equals to 0. Okay? Your first u should be 1 and your second u should be -1/4. And solve. Find your x squared equals to 1. X squared equals to -1/4. You should have 4 roots. So x equals to plus or minus 1. X equals to I square root of 1, I 1/2, or 1/2I. So it's going to be plus or minus 1/2I. Here are your 4 roots. So this, what did I do? I grouped mine. So the GCF here was x to the 4th power. And the GCF here was 1. Okay, the GCF here was 1. So x to the 4th power goes outside. I will have x squared minus 9. And then here, I'll have 1 here, which is positive. And then this will be negative x squared plus 9. I notice that these two brackets are not the same. So I will multiply this with negative 1. Okay. So I will have x to the 4th power minus 1. And then I will have x squared minus 9. Okay. So these two are both difference of squares. This is a difference of squares. And this is also a difference of squares. Okay. So difference of squares, open two brackets. Find the square root of this and find the square root of that. So the square root of x to the 4th power is x squared. So minus 1, and then x squared plus 1. Then here you're going to open two brackets. You do the same thing. Find the square root of this, which will be x, and the square root of that, which will be 3, and that. Okay. And then this is still a difference of squares right here. It's going to open two brackets. X, open two brackets, x plus 1, x minus 1. Okay. So I'm continuing with my work. So I'm going to have x plus 1, x minus 1, x squared plus 1, x plus 3, x minus 3 equals to 0. So solve all of them. I need how many roots? 6. I will get 1, 2, 3, 4, because this is squared, 5, 6. Okay? So my first root will be x to negative 1, because, okay, let me do it so that x plus 1 equals to 0, subtract 1, x equals to negative 1. Then you're going to do this one. X minus 1 equals to 0, add 1, x equals to 1. Then let's do this one. X plus 3 equals to 0, minus 3 equals to x equals to negative 3. X minus 3 equals to 0, plus 3, x equals to 3. Now let's do this one. X squared plus 1 equals to 0. Subtract 1, x squared equals to negative 1. Square root both sides, x equals plus or minus I. Okay? So how many roots? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are your 6 roots. So you write them out. X equals to negative I, followed by I, negative 1, followed by 1, negative 3, followed by 3. And you box your answer. Same thing here, you just do u squared plus u plus 15. Solve it in the calculator, you should get 2 u's Your first u is -5, and your second u is -3. You should get 4 roots. X squared equals to -5. Find the square root of both sides. X equals to plus or minus I root 5. X squared equals to -3. Square root both sides. X equals plus or minus I root 3. Okay, there are your 4 roots. GCF. (21x³ minus 18x² y 24xy². Three times 7 times x times x times x. Oh, -1 times 2 times 3 times 3 times x times x times y. 1, 2, 3, that gives me 8 times 3 times x times y times y. Okay, so we have 3. And we have x. So GCF, 3 darb x, which is 3x. So we have 3x, 7x² minus 6xy plus 8y². No GCF. Well, there is a greatest common factor, it's just not, it's 1. So that's why I'm saying no GCF other than 1. No GCF other than 1. And 8 and 7 are not perfect cubes, perfect squares. Okay. So this is prime. So I'm gonna do jedwal. You can do whatever you want. You can do calculator, or you can do quadratic formula. Me, I'm gonna do jedwal. B is 7, AC is -18. What two numbers can I darb will give me -18? So -1, 18. 1 and -18. -2 and 9. 2 and -9. -3 and 6. 3 and -6. This will not give me 7 when I add. This will not give me 7 when I add. This will give me -7 when I add. And this will give me 7 when I add. So in my jedwal, the way the numbers appear, I put them in the bracket. So that will be A minus 2 and A plus 9. Okay? So this is my answer. When you do this in the calculator, you will get A equals to 2, and you will get A equals to -9. So you will subtract 2 on both sides. So you'll get A minus 2 to equal 0, get 9, add 9. So this will be A plus 9 equals 0. Then you take your brackets and write them as factors. And then make sure you check your work. A times A squared. A times 9, positive 9A. Negative 2 times this, negative 2A. Negative 2 times this, negative 18. Why am I putting 0? Because you're not over here. And then this gives you positive 7A, and it matches your question. So then you know your answer is correct. Always check your work. Always. Check your work. Always check your work. So I group them. GCF here is 1. GCF here is 2A. So if 2A is outside here, you'll have K minus 3. And GCF is 1, so you put plus 1. K minus 3. My brackets are the same. 2A plus 1. K minus 3. Box your answer. I did jadwal. My B is 8. My AC is 7. What two numbers can I multiply will give me 7? 1 and 7. And 1 plus 7 is 8. So these are my factors. So I'm just going to write B plus 1 and B plus 7. Box my answer. I check my work. B times B squared, plus 7B plus B plus 7. This gives me positive 8B. B squared. So I definitely know this is correct. Same thing here. I'm going to do jadwal. B equals to -8. AC equals to -10. -1 and 10. 1 and -10. -2 and 5. 2 and -5. -3. 3. -9. 9. Not factorable. So it is prime. See, I did not get -8 here. So that's how I know it's not factorable. This one is a difference of squares. Oh. So I need 2 brackets. One with plus, one with minus. So find A. A is the square root of 4f squared, which is 2f. And B is the square root of 64, which is 8. So this will be 2f plus 8 and 2f minus 8. Check your work. 2f times 2f, 4f squared. 2f times negative 8, negative 16f. 8 times positive 2f, positive 16f. And positive 8 times negative 8, negative 64. This becomes 0. And this is the question, so this is my answer. Because I know this is a difference of squares. Okay. I can do this 2 different ways. Actually, I can do this 3 different ways. If I want to do jadwal, I'll do jadwal. So we have B equals to negative 12. AC equals to 36. Negative 1. Negative 36. Negative 2. Negative 18. Negative 3. Negative 12. Negative 4. Negative 9. Negative 6. Negative 6. And this gives me negative 12 when I add. So here is my answer. So I'm going to write D minus 6 and D minus 6, which is the same as D minus 6 squared. Okay. If I decided to use the rule of square of difference, so this is a perfect square and this is a perfect square and this is minus. So I'll say my A equals to D squared square root, and my B equals to the square root of 36, which gives me D, and this gives me 6. So I just write here D minus 6, D minus 6, just like that. And this, because they are the same, so D minus 6 squared. This is if you're using the rule, okay? And then you do the check. Do the check and see if you go back to this question right here. Okay, on your calculator, when you solve, you will get x equals to 6. You will subtract 6 both sides. You're going to get x minus 6. And you're going to get another, you'll have 2 x's. So you have x equals to 6 2 times on the calculator. So you subtract that like that. And then you get x minus 6 equals to 0. And then you just write it, x minus 6, x minus 6. Actually, it's supposed to be d. So d minus 6, d minus 6. Excuse me. So this is d minus 6 squared. So I have shown you 3 different ways of you doing the same thing. Here you're using the calculator. Here you're using the rule A minus B squared, means A squared minus 2AB plus B squared. That's the rule you're using here. Here you're using the table. So either one will give you the same answer. This is the prime, because this is plus. If it was positive, you could have used difference of squares. But because it's plus, this is prime. Okay. I used my rule. This is a perfect square, this is a perfect square, and this is a plus. So this is A plus B. a plus b, which will give me a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, and so I just find my a and b. A equals the square root of y squared, and b equals the square root of 81. This gives me y, and this gives me 9. So my factors are y plus 9, y plus 9. Okay? Which gives me y plus 9 squared. If I want to check my work, I check my work. Y squared plus 9y plus 9y plus 81. Y squared plus 18y plus 81. It gives me back to the question. I am correct. This one looks like it is prime. 7 and 14. But there's a common factor because of both of them have x's. So the greatest common factor is 7x. So GCF 7x becomes 7x squared becomes 7 dot x. Negative 14x becomes negative 1 dot 2 dot 7 dot x. So GCF is 7x. Okay. So GCF equals to 7 dot x, 7x. So 7x, x is remaining, minus 2. Okay. 19 and 38. So this I'll have to do GCF because both of them have x. So this is GCF. 19x cubed becomes 19 is a prime number, so x dot x. Negative 38x squared becomes negative 1 dot 2 dot 19 dot x. Okay, so common factor is 19 and x and x. So GCF will be 19 dot x, 19x squared, 19x squared outside x minus Ethelina. So there, this is perfect cubes and you're subtracting. So the difference of two cubes, you should know by looking at your number whether it's a perfect square or a perfect cube. Just by looking at it, you should know. Because we've practiced cube numbers and square numbers in class. So how do we write difference of two cubes? A minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. I agree. A, how do I find a? Cube root of n cubed, which is n. How do I find b? Cube root of 125, which is 5. So this will be n minus 5, n squared plus n dot 5 plus 5 squared. Okay, so this will be n minus 5, n squared plus 5n plus 25. This is your answer. Is that clear? That is your answer. This is a difference of squares. So this is M okay. So this is M squared minus 1 squared squared, like that. Now, because this is a difference of squares, this becomes M M squared minus 1 M squared plus 1. This is still a difference of squares. You're going to separate it as M minus 1 M plus 1. Okay? And then you're going to bring this down because you cannot separate it anymore. Okay? Okay. And then that is your answer.